This is Vicky, also known as Dragonfly7673. I am recording this on Friday, September 12th. It's about 5:45 in the evening. And I am sorry that this has taken so long. Tiff and I did not record while she was here, as we suspected. The time was just really incredibly busy. Part of that was because we weren't even... Usually when she comes to visit, I pick her up from the airport, and we pretty much go straight from the airport to Mom's house, and then we have several days, you know, kind of together. I might be working from their house or whatever, but there's a bunch of time. This time that didn't happen this way because I had to go to the wedding for my friend and employee. So she actually came, she flew into Milwaukee like she normally does, but she immediately got on a bus and took the bus to Madison, where Mom then picked her up. So she was actually here for a few days and I didn't see her. I didn't see her until Saturday morning of Labor Day weekend. So the wedding was fabulous. We ended up sitting at a table that was pretty much all my team, either past or present. So there were people that work for me now. There was somebody who used to work for a company that I really wanted to join our team, and the timing just didn't work out. He ended up leaving for another opportunity, but now he's a contractor, and he still ends up working closely with our team. So that's cool. And then somebody else who just had a great opportunity someplace, and I wished him all the best. If you guys remember the Halloween wedding from last year, that was him. So this whole table at the reception was all my people and their significant others. So best friend went with me, and it was a very nice wedding. There was not a huge gap between wedding and reception, which is nice because that always gets a little awkward. But it was very good. Then we left. We didn't leave early by any stretch of the imagination, but by about 10:30 that day, we left because we both had to get up at like 6:30 on Saturday. Best friend so he could go to his Aikido event, and myself so I could go and meet the family. So it was a busy weekend. And then on Saturday we went out to breakfast, and I picked up my son's girlfriend, and so she and myself and Tiff and my son all went out to breakfast, and then we hung around the house and we saw the couch up parade. And Labor Day weekend, they always do a couch up throw, which is throwing cow poop, but it's this big celebration in town, so there's a parade. We went to the craft fair later. One of my very good friends who was maid of honor when I was married years ago, and she's been around, I've known her for 20 years now. She got to come out and spend the day, and I don't normally get to see her. Eventually, best friend showed up because his seminar went a lot longer than he was expecting, and then there was traffic, and he hurt himself. We did presents for my son's birthday. That was all that day, and so I can sneak in some crafting, so anybody that's new doesn't wonder why in the world is this person not talking about knitting or crochet or anything. The last time I recorded, I told you that I had done a secret project. Well, I didn't even tell Tiff and Mom what the secret project was because I wanted it to be a surprise. So I'm going to put the picture here. Yes, that is a Mountain Dew top hat that I made for my son. He loves his Mountain Dew and saves the cans way too much, and we've had a discussion that I got rid of a bunch of the cans. But while I was at the Brewers baseball game a couple weeks ago with best friend, and it was a work event, several people had beer can hats, and I got it into my head that if I just found the pattern and modified it, I could use the tall Mountain Dew cans and make a top hat for my son because he's fascinated with top hats. And so best friend cut apart the cans for me, and then I punched the holes, a lot of holes, and it was like 250 holes. My hands were so sore from punching the holes into the cans. And then that night, while he was gaming with his friends, I was crocheting the hat. And so I did most of it that Saturday and finished it up that Sunday. So my hand was really hurting. And I had told you guys that I had done a secret project and my hand was hurting. And that was the project. But I gave it to my son, and he really liked it. And Mom made him a money rose, so, which you can see in that picture too. Anyway, so that was Saturday. Sunday, best friend had heard about a place local to where my mom lives, and called Pewett's Nest. In all the time we lived there, we had never heard of this place. And he had seen it in a paper as one of the great places in Wisconsin that nobody knows about. So it turns out that there's like this little cavern area where there's a creek or a stream running through, and in some places it's really deep. I have a small video of people like jumping off the cliff, and in other spots it's not deep at all, and people are just wading through. So we just had fun just kind of going through. My son and best friend didn't really go in the water, but his girlfriend and Tiff and I did. And there people brought their dogs, and the dogs were really happy playing, and it was just beautiful. And when we parked, we technically parked illegally, so did about 30 other people. And all of a sudden, as we're leaving, best friend turns around and he goes, "We need to hurry. The police are handing out tickets." So we kind of sped walked to the car, but not like being obvious that we were running to the car. And he was a couple cars away from our car, and we drove away and did not get a ticket. It wasn't like we were going to stand there at that point and wait for a ticket. I mean, if we hadn't been leaving at that point, if we had left 5 minutes later, we would have had a ticket and I would have been paying it. But since we didn't, we took advantage and left. So we did that, and we went to the store for Mom, and we had lunch. I don't even remember what all we did. And then, eventually, we took the kids swimming at the hotel. Eventually, we left early and went back so that, because, like I said, best friend had hurt himself. I feel like I'm really rambling. I'm so sorry. But basically it came out to, and then we went back so he can go in the hot tub and soak his knee. And then Monday morning we left kind of early, and all day Monday pretty much Tiff and I were, we spent the day with my knitting group, who I never get to see. And spent all of the day with them, and needless to say, we didn't record. But we had a really good time, and we got to spend time together, which was important. Alright, so that explains part of it. And I have been knitting. I will show you some stuff. So I did show you the hat. I also have been knitting on my Wind in the Willow shawl. And if you look, there is a section here that is actually bound off. That is because I finished the last row. However, it's not even halfway bound off yet, but it's in process. And I don't have current pictures because I kind of figured I'd take a picture once the whole thing was bound off. But I'm working on the bind off, so it's almost done. And that's good because I have another big project that I'm just going to start, which I'm probably crazy. Rowan is combining forces with K Facet to make a mystery knit-along for an Afghan. Now you can make an Afghan or a cushion. I probably should have done the cushion, but I didn't have any reason for a cushion and the Afghan I would use. Anyway, the mystery knit-along is going to have, they're going to release a square about every 10 days. The release dates for the clues for the mystery knit-along go from October 1st through sometime in December. And at first they said they were going to release clues on Wednesdays and Fridays, and I was like, dang, that's going to be fast. Well, no, it's like 1 week it releases Wednesday, the next week Friday, then the following Wednesday, something like that. It ends up being about 10 days in between clue releases, which actually is kind of nice, because you need to do several squares. It began being sponsored by Rowan. There's a shopping list that's available right now that has all these Rowan colors in different sets. There's a turquoise set, a brown set, a red set, and a pastel set, and it gives a shopping list for each kind of colorway. I don't have the samples right now, but I picked one, and then I ordered all my yarn. They don't have kits for it. You have to order the yarn wherever you can find the yarn. I ordered mine from Webs because there's enough yarn in an Afghan that you get the discount from Webs, and they were the only ones that were aware of the knit-along and said, we know we're back ordered, but we are supposed to get stuff from Rowan in plenty of time for the knit-along. So I checked Jimmy Beans, Alpaca Direct, Paradise Fibers, Webs, and I think something else. And Webs, all of them were had major colors back ordered, and Webs was the only one that had something that said they were aware of the knit-along and they would be getting yarn in time for it. Hopefully. So I really want to get this shawl done so that I can be prepped for that. So I've been working on this slowly. Not very much this week. One of the other things that's going on is best friend and I decided to sign up for the Glow Run. I told you that. And we were going to walk it. Well, we decided we really do want to start building up running. It turns out he already runs. I didn't realize that part of his physical therapy training has been running. So now he's trying to figure out what he wants to do. But for me, I don't really run. So I'm signed up for the Couch to... I've been following the Couch to 5K. I say that like I'm doing it for a while. I haven't. I did the first day. And the first day, I did it at a local walking path. And I haven't been there for a while and didn't realize the walking path has not been maintained. It's a blacktop path, but it really needs some work. And I wasn't thinking about the fact that it has some slight hills. But I did it. For anybody that doesn't know, Couch to 5K kind of gives you a training plan. And for the first week, you warm up for 5 minutes. Then you jog for 60 seconds, walk for 90 seconds, jog for 60 seconds, walk for 90 seconds. Keep repeating that until 20 minutes have passed. And then do a 5-minute cool down. And you do that 3 times for the first week. And then the next week it's, I don't remember. It goes up. Like it's jog for 90 seconds and walk for 60. I don't remember. I have the plan. I have an app for the Couch to 5K. One that matches the original written plan. And so for me, I just want to get through it. Now I have seen that some people, when they do Couch to 5K, they actually will repeat weeks. They'll say, I finished week 1, but it was really a struggle, so I'm going to do week 1 again, because it really is at your own pace. If you go week to week to week to week, it's essentially an 8-week plan. Basically to get you running for 30 minutes straight eventually. And in theory, 30 minutes should be about 3 miles or a 5K. They also have You can also do it by distance, whatever. I'm doing it by time. So I am doing the 60-second jog, the 90-second walk. The app lets you listen to your own music, and then it gives you voice prompts for when you're supposed to switch. I like that. The first day, I did the minor hills, and I did on a local thing. I didn't realize the app would let me know when I was halfway. So when I thought I was halfway, I turned around, which was fine. But I didn't know how to pace myself. So I actually struggled in that one. I actually had to pause twice in order to get through it. But I counted it. I did it. I completed, even though I paused, I didn't ever sit. I just kind of paced for a little bit and got my heart rate back down. So the first day, I paused twice. The second day, I knew what to expect. So I still ended up pausing at one point, but I did it on the track at work. And I paused once at about the third repetition. Third or fourth, I don't remember. That was fine. It must have been the third. That was great. I was really proud of myself. This weekend, Saturday, we ended up going to best friend's parents' house and helping trim trees. We thought maybe this would be a couple hours. Ended up being an all-day thing. And I was so sore. Best friend was actually going up in the trees, either with a ladder, climbing, using a giant pole. Eventually he was they have a cage that gets hooked to the tractor. It's not particularly safe, but whatever. Anyway, so he was up in the trees, but I was down below, and the most helpful I could be was when they cut the big branches, I was cutting them into pieces and piling them up so we could then put them in the area for the brush fire or logs. So I was using the clippers, and I was really working too. I mean, and especially this was all day. So we stopped for lunch, but it was all day. And then Saturday night we decided to go to a movie, and we saw November Man, which is pretty good. We saw it in the local Cine Station, which we've been waiting for, where the seats kind of vibrate and move. Well, apparently the seats only vibrate with some of the sound effects. It wasn't that good. It was weak. I put that on the survey. But it was a long day. Sunday, we mainly just wanted to rest, and he wanted to watch the Colts game. And eventually we decided, you know what? We really need to do day 3. Well, that was actually his first day of the Couch to 5K. For me, it was going to be day 3. And we're like, we really need to do it because I wouldn't have time on Monday. And it was like, okay, fine. So we get dressed. We go to the local track at the school nearby. And it's a gravel track, but it's pretty well maintained. It's pretty flat. There were some sticks in part of it, but we kind of cleared those out. And we're going. And I'm honestly, I'm like proud of myself. I didn't feel like going out. I was sore from the day before. We could have just said, hell with it, we're going to put on our jammies and watch the football game. But no, we went out there. We did it. We got out there. And not only that, but as I was doing this, I was still going to need to pause, but I got farther doing the day than I had the previous 2 days. So I was pretty proud of myself. I'm like, okay, but I'm going to pause because and I had already decided I'm going to have to redo week 1. I'm just not there yet. I walk, but I don't run. So I decided I'm going to pause. I'm just going to walk a little bit, and I turned to look to see where best friend is on the track and how he's doing, because we weren't, our paces are different. I turned to look to see where he is, and I hit the one patch of gravel that's not level, and immediately I am down. Sprained my ankle, ripped up part of my hand and my arm. Not bad, but enough that they were, there was some blood. And I'm just like, and I'm laying there and I hurt. And I'm waiting for best friend to notice that I'm sitting on the track. He doesn't notice. I'm just like, okay. Well, it turns out he couldn't see because we were at the right point of day. It was about 6:30. Where the sun was right at that right angle where you can't see very much, and The sun was behind me, so he had no idea I was sitting on the track. He's coming around, and I finally, yell, "Honey, move your..." You can guess. and all of a sudden, at that point, he said he still couldn't see me, but he heard me and started running to where he heard my voice. And then he's like, "Oh my God." So he didn't get to finish his. And I had been so proud. And it wasn't even like I sprained my ankle on the running part. I sprained my ankle while I paused. I wasn't even on the speed walking part. So I sprained my ankle. Needless to say, I've been icing it, using ibuprofen. I've been hopping a lot. One of the guys at work caught me hopping to the bathroom, which he thought was very funny. And then it's been a really long week at work. So I have actually been putting in about 11-hour days, most days this week. I left early today, came home thinking I could record, and instead I fell asleep and took a nap with the cats. So I have gotten almost nothing done this week. I started binding off the shawl, and a couple times during conference calls, the stuff you see is from conference calls. That was about all I did. I did start a purple hat for Click for Babies. I started this on the way to best friend's parents' house last Saturday before we did the trees. It is out of Lion Brand Heartland on size 7. It's just a needle I picked up when I was at Joann Fabrics because I realized I had no purple yarn that would be appropriate. And I have a suspicion that the hat's going to be a little too big. Although when I get farther, the cables pull in. And I have nothing else. We are doing the purple hats for Click for Babies. They need to be at least 50% purple. Crow Julie actually posted a very nice information piece on hat sizes for babies, which is, I actually need to compare this to her link. This one will probably still get finished as is, but then I want to look for future ones. The pattern I'm doing is the exact same pattern that I did for the Halos for Hope. It's that Chunky Dean hat, except for I'm doing it in worsted instead of in chunky. Those are pretty much the only things I have, and I don't have a picture of the purple hat either. I do have hats, Halos for Hope hats from other people. This one is from Harper. She mailed it. She said she actually made 2, but her mom fell in love with one, and so it stayed with her, which is perfectly fine. And Tiff sent me with all of her hats so that I can give them to Sandy when I meet up. So, and she made all different kinds of hats. It's got some fading with the color work. This one's got snowflakes, stripes. She didn't weave in her ends. I might have to weave in her ends. This one's got here, it's easier to see on this side, a pattern going up, a zigzag. Another stripey one. And a pink one with some texturing. Alright, I'm going to pause real quick because I want to check my list and see if there's anything else I wanted to tell you about. Needless to say, the Glow Run, well, we weren't planning on running to begin with. Now we're really not running. Hopefully, if things heal, we are doing the Santa Hustle 5K in December. And the idea was that we'd run that one. Now it depends a little bit on how soon I can get back walking, much less running. So, all right, let me pause real quick and look at my list, and then we have prize drawings today. The only other thing I had on there was that our condo president died, and this means that I have a meeting with one of the members of the condo board because they want to pull me back in. Which, after working a really long week and school starting, which means I have to help my son long distance again, although not nearly as swamped as last spring. I do not want anything to do with the condo board. Which means I just need to stand firm and say no. But anyway, although actually being on the board is not bad. Being the condo president sucks. But I got a meeting with them tomorrow. And I'm meeting a friend for coffee and knitting, which hopefully will be a nice thing. So, that actually brings us to the prize section. I feel like I rambled a lot, and at the same time I feel like I kind of rushed some stuff, and I'm sorry for that. I will try and put some pictures at the end, but I do want to do the prizes now. I already drew the names for the prizes and put together snippets for the drawings. So the first one you will see is for Halos for Hope. And just in case anybody's wondering, because it's a little hard on this one, it goes prize, winner, prize, winner. And there's no verbal, because I just couldn't. And so you're going to have to watch the screen. So here is the ones for Halos of Hope. Right? As you can tell, I was kind of playing with the montage piece of my Pinnacle Studio. And this next one is for the inspirational long. This one is a little easier to tell which prize and person go with. But here you go. And what I did is on both of these, as I was drawing the numbers and finding things, and Tiff can tell you that it actually takes longer to draw the names than you think because there's so many repeats. And so you have to keep going. You go, number 15, first page, and you pick that person. And then you go, number 120, and you pick that one. And then you pick the next one, and then, oh, nope, that's a repeat. Or something like that. It actually takes a while to get them all. But that's here nor there. The inspirational long winners are here. Again, there's no audio, so make sure you watch. And here you go. Right. And then we have, we'll have some pictures at the end, just from things going on, the trees and the pewit's nest, and I think that's pretty much it. And pictures of the cats sleeping. The temperature has changed so drastically. I mean, it changed like 20 degrees one of the nights this week, that the cats are like all curled up next to me and on me because they're cold. I actually turned the heat on today. So I will talk to you guys all next time. Please make sure if you won that you enter in your, send me your address. Some of you I have addresses for, some of you I don't. I try not to assume addresses, although I think you guys know that last time I needed to send out prizes, I actually just pulled addresses that I actually pulled addresses from people I knew. So, also, if you ever don't get a prize, please let me know right away, because I always let you guys know when I sent prizes, and I don't do a partial trip. It's all or nothing. So, I will talk to you guys all next time. Hopefully not nearly as long, but the way things are going at work, like I said, it was really long days, and then by the time I got home and put ice on my foot, it wasn't happening. And actually, even last week, we worked fairly long, and then we were going and working out, so it was late too. So I might try to have to figure out what to do with my schedule. So until then, I'm sorry. It's still going to be wonky, but I will talk to you guys soon. Talk to you later. Bye.